Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Football Insights. My name is Kobo. We are back here again. It's been a while, it's been a while. Click on the subscribe button, press the post notification bell. We have a lot to talk about. Midweek games review coming up here. Today is Thursday afternoon. We are Thursday afternoon. Midweek games happened yesterday, and then on Tuesday, we are here to bring you some of the juicy stories, the results of the midweek games. Now, stay here with me. Click on the subscribe button, press the post notification bell, and let's get straight into the video. So we are starting with the midweek games. We will talk about Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray. There was a League Cup game that went on, Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray. We will talk about that in the later part of the video. So let's start with Liverpool. Liverpool won by 1-0 against Everton for the first time. Liverpool coming from the players coming from the international break. They are out of the Champions League. They are out of they lost the Carabao Cup too before they go into the international break. So the spirit in Liverpool is kind of down. But this is a league game. So of course they are 12 points clear at the top of the Premier League. So it should be a sense of motivation. It should be a sign of motivation to them. As a Liverpool player coming back from the international break to play a Premier League game is kind of, refreshing to you, because you have lost the Champions League, you have lost the Carabao Cup, you are not in the FA Cup anymore. So Liverpool, won. It was a difficult game. It was a Merseyside derby against Everton. This game, it's always have this kind of aura. It has this kind of, momentum around this game. Even if Everton are struggling, against Liverpool, it is a tough game. Always it is a tough game, considering the fact that Liverpool has always been, on top. They have been, scoring Everton, for the most of the, past meetings. But still, this is a tough game. Even if Liverpool are still winning the league, you still know that Everton have that thing that on any day they can punish Liverpool. So it was a tough game. Honestly, it was a tough game because I watched this game very well. A lot of controversial, decisions in there, controversies happening in the game. James Tarkowski, I think he deserved the red card. I think that tackle on McAllister was supposed to be a red card. I don't know what actually happened, but Tarkowski had a yellow card. Picked forward against Darwin Nunes. So this game has always been that controversial game. Controversies will happen. You just know that controversies are just going to happen. So if you are a referee and then you are being appointed to go and officiate this game, it is a tough game for you. It is a do or die affair for the two teams. So you, the referee, have to be very careful. You have to be very careful, But 1-0 against Everton. Diogo Jota scored for Liverpool. 57th minute, Diogo Jota scored for Liverpool. The instances leading to that particular goal was very brilliant. It was a top goal by Diogo Jota. So Liverpool, all in all, they won the game. They are 12 points clear of the top. It's going to be very difficult. Of course, I congratulated Liverpool. I think when they won against Manchester United, when they won against Manchester City, that was when I congratulated Liverpool, because Arsenal cannot keep up. Arsenal cannot keep up. Even Arsenal have some solid games that they have to play even before the season will end. So I don't see them having even an inch to win or to even challenge for the title. I don't see them like that, So Liverpool, top performance, brilliant performance by Liverpool. Curtis Jones, we should pick him up. He's doing really well for Liverpool. Curtis Jones, I've seen that, they are in a contract negotiation with him. Let's see what happened. Mohamed Salah was off yesterday night. I don't know what was happening. Mohamed Salah was basically off, So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happened in the Liverpool game. Now let's move to Aston Villa. Aston Villa are doing something after they brought in Marcus Rashford, Marco Asensio, Donny Marlon, and then Desasi, and then the likes. Aston Villa, they have a solid team. And then I even see it as, I think that their target is not even the Premier League. Of course, they have to qualify for European football if they want to, get these boys to stay. Some of these boys to stay. I know Rashford might move away, but if they want to get some of these boys to stay, they have to move, or they have to, qualify for European competition, being it the Europa League, or being it the Conference League. At least European football or European competition will do for them. But Aston Villa are doing really, really well. They are lone boys. The lone army that they recruited this particular winter transfer window has really paid off. And then it is really, really doing well for Aston Villa. Marco Asensio, they won by 3 goals to 0 against Brighton at the Amex Sports Stadium. American Express Sports Stadium. Rashford scored in the 51st minute. Asensio scored in the 78th minute. And then Donny Marlon also scored in the 90 plus 10 minutes. So these boys are lone army. They are lone boys, but they are performing really, really well for Aston Villa. Marco Asensio, since he came to Aston Villa, has 8 goals. 8 goals, and I think in the Premier League, yes, I saw it on Squawka. Big shout out to Squawka, or powered by Opta O Index. So, you know, Asensio is doing well. And Rashford is equally doing well, because since he moved to Aston Villa, he has been able to, you know, get his, first call-up after some, months in the Three Lions of England. They called him back into the Three Lions of England. Thomas Tuchel's first call-up. Rashford was able to, get some of the call-up. So it is working for Rashford. As of now, it is working. But I don't think Aston Villa are that team that can keep Rashford, unless Rashford wants to stay at Aston Villa. Then maybe Aston Villa will work something out with Manchester United. But considering the salary Rashford is on right now, is he ready to reduce the salary to 100,000? Because even 100,000 is going to be very difficult for Aston Villa to pay. It's not like they can't pay. They can pay, but it's going to be very difficult for them to pay that money to Rashford. But let's see what happens. But Rashford, Asensio, Donny Marlon, the lone boys scored, or they won the 3 points for Aston Villa against Brighton. Brighton, now I expected more from Brighton because, Amex Stadium, even though Aston Villa are also a tough side, but Brighton should have been able to do something against Aston Villa. But Aston Villa won, so Aston Villa did really, really, really well. Newcastle also won by 2 goals to 1 against Brentford. Isak scored for Newcastle. Brian Mbeumo restored parity, or scored 1 goal for Brentford. So Newcastle are also doing really, really well. They are also trying their possible best to also, make the European spot. Currently, they are fifth on the league log. Chelsea are sixth. Manchester City are fourth. Chelsea will play today. Let's see what happens maybe in the game between Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur. But Newcastle also won by 2 goals to 1. So they are also there. They won, Isak. Isak is, always scoring, so that was Newcastle. Manchester City, 2 goals to 0 against Leicester City. This game was not that brilliant. It was not that, phenomenal performance by Manchester City. But at least they tried. At least it is a league game. So if you have 3 points and plus 2 goals, that's something. Jack Grealish scored after 2 years. I think his last goal in the Premier League was December 2023. December 2023. That was when Jack Grealish scored a Premier League goal for Manchester City. We are in 2025 April. 2025 April. So you just calculate. Almost 2 years. Jack Grealish, £100 million player. This is funny, but no one is talking about him. No one is talking about him. I don't know what they have seen in Jack Grealish. I don't know the kind of PR he has, but no one is talking about him. He is that flop at Manchester City, but no one is talking about Jack Grealish. It's been almost 2 years. Jack Grealish has never scored a Premier League goal in Manchester City. So he scored. He scored against Leicester City. 2 minutes into the game, Jack Grealish scored a top goal for Manchester City. Omar Mamouche in the 29th minute. I have said it. I said it on my socials that even if Haaland is, off for like 5 weeks, Omar Mamouche is there to fill the gap for Manchester City. They are good because Omar Mamouche is a big player. He's a big player. Just look at the goal. Just look at the goal. That goal wasn't, he didn't struggle to get the ball, but just look at the technique and then the kind of goal he scored. Just look at the technique. So Omar Mamouche, big player. Big player. I'm not surprised that they paid almost 80 million for Omar Mamouche from Eintracht Frankfurt. I'm not surprised because he's a big player. If you don't have Haaland, Omar Mamouche is there to fill the gap for Erling Haaland. So Omar Mamouche also scored in the 29th minute. Manchester City 2 goals to 0 against Leicester City. Charlie, Ruud van Nistelrooy, this man is struggling. I don't know, but this man is struggling. He is really, really, really struggling. And then I don't know how they are going to do it, but Leicester City is looking like they will go to relegation, of course. Relegation bomb, so they are going to go to relegation. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was what happened in the Premier League, midweek games. Let's check out the table. What is the table saying? Liverpool 73 points. 73 points there by Liverpool. Arsenal 61 points. Nottingham Forest, they also won against Manchester United. 1-0. Anthony Elanga scored the goal for Nottingham Forest. Manchester United also lost 1-0 against Nottingham Forest. So Nottingham Forest 57 points. Manchester City 51. Chelsea 49. Newcastle 50 points. So the top four, race for the top four is on. It is on. Don't forget, EPL has one additional slot in next year's Champions League. So let's say top five. The race for the top five is going to be very difficult, especially for Chelsea. I don't believe my boys. Honestly, I don't believe my boys, but let's see what happens. But Nottingham Forest, they are doing really, really well. Aston Villa also have 48 points, Brighton 47, Fulham 45, and then Bournemouth 44 points. Bournemouth also lost during the midweek. Let's move to the Derby de la Madolina. Derby de la Madolina, the top game versus AC Milan versus Inter Milan. Top game. This is, the biggest game in, in Italian football. I mean, people will say Juventus, but this is the biggest game. Inter Milan versus AC Milan. Two cousins playing in the either Giuseppe Meazza or the San Siro. So they play in one particular stadium or in a single stadium. 1-1. It is a Copa Italia semi-final first leg. 1-1 between each other. Tammy Abraham scored for AC Milan. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. I was saying something when you check out my previous video that I posted about midfielders. I said something about Hakan Çalhanoğlu. This is a world-class midfielder. Hakan Çalhanoğlu is a world-class midfielder because he is that player who follows instructions. If you need him to play at the central role for you or as a central midfielder for you, he will play. If you want him to play as an attacking midfielder for you, he will play. So Hakan Çalhanoğlu is that player, top player. He's a top player. He's a world-class midfielder. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Just look at the ball. Look at the way he scored the goal. It is not every midfielder. That is not common in midfielders. But Hakan Çalhanoğlu, that goal was a top goal. It was a top strike by Hakan Çalhanoğlu to steal the win away from AC Milan. We have the second leg to play at the same sports stadium. But this time around, it is going to be Giuseppe Meazza. First it was San Siro because AC Milan was playing. But here, it is going to be Giuseppe Meazza. Let's see what this derby has for us. But AC Milan versus Inter Milan, it is always a top game because, considering the fact that Inter Milan are on top, but still AC Milan are still AC Milan. Whenever they meet Inter Milan, it is a top game by all standards. So, big shout outs to AC Milan. I think they did well because I expected Inter Milan to win the game, but AC Milan did well. They did really, really, really well. Rafael Leao was kind of, good. It was kind of okay in this particular game. So let's see what happens in the second leg. Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. Barcelona-Atletico Madrid. Copa del Rey second leg. Going into the first leg, it was 4-4. It was 4-4 on aggregate, but Barcelona won by 1-0 against Atletico Madrid. The way Barcelona are moving with Atletico Madrid, I'm not happy at all. Because they have been scoring Atletico, they have been scoring them left, right, center this season. They have met them on countless occasions, and then they have put them to their level. Atletico Madrid, this is not the Atletico Madrid we knew. No, or this is not the Atletico Madrid we know. Atletico Madrid, you show up against the big boys. They will show up against Madrid, but I don't know what is there in Barcelona. They can't show up against Barcelona. But for the first time, I saw Diego Simeone wearing, a polo shirt. Atletico Madrid polo shirt, and then there is this inner. For the first time, I saw Diego Simeone not wearing a suit at the touchline. So that was very, 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 very delighting to watch. Diego Simeone not wearing a suit for the first time, that was very, 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 very funny. But Atletico Madrid also lost 1-0. The game was boring. In the first half, it was very, very, very boring. This was supposed to be a top game, but in the first half, it was very boring because Atletico Madrid didn't show up. You were playing at the Civitas Metropolitano Sports Stadium, and then you didn't show up. What is that? Atletico Madrid didn't show up at all. But Ferran Torres, it's about time we big him up. He has 21 goals and assists combined in all competition for Barcelona this particular season. He is not a starter. He is not that regular player. He doesn't have a lot of minutes, but he's giving you the goals. He is giving you the assist. He's a crucial player for Barcelona. He's a serious tool for Barcelona this particular season. Ferran Torres, he's a very special tool for Barcelona. So Ferran Torres started the game and then he scored in the 27th minute. That was a top assist by Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal was limping after the game. But let's see, I just hope he's okay. I just hope he's okay because the Champions League quarterfinal is about to kickstart, very soon. So I just hope Lamine Yamal is, okay. But Atletico Madrid has only won one game in their last 8 games. Drew against Barcelona 4-4, won against Athletic Club 1-0, lost against Real Madrid 2-1, lost against Getafe 2-1, lost against Madrid again 1-0, lost against Barcelona 4-2, drew against Espanyol 1-1, and then lost against Barcelona. So in a space of like 8 games, they have lost 2 games and draw 1 game against Barcelona. That is not good enough. This is not the Atletico Madrid we know. But final, Copa del Rey final between Barcelona and then Real Madrid. We have more Classicos to watch. So far, we have 2 Classicos to watch. The Copa del Rey final and then the league game, Classico, between Real Madrid and then Barcelona. Now, let's move a bit more from Europe. Let's go to the Turkish league. The Turkish Cup. Turkish Cup also happened. Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray. Victor Osimhen scored 2 goals. He scored 2 goals. Let me talk about Victor Osimhen first. He scored 2 goals. He has played 32 games for Galatasaray this season. He has scored 27 goals and then 5 assists for Galatasaray this particular season. So that's like what? 32 goals and assists this particular season for who? Victor Osimhen, the top man, Victor Osimhen. So wherever he goes, he scores goals. People will say it is Turkish league, but he scored goals in the Serie A too. He has been scoring for Nigeria in the World Cup qualifiers and then in the friendly games and all of that. So he's been scoring. We thought that Victor Osimhen moving to Galatasaray is going to, tame his football down a little bit, but he's still scoring. So he's still putting himself up there. There was 3 red cards in this particular game. 3. 2 for Galatasaray, 1 for Fenerbahce. This game is a derby game. Of course, it is, a super clash in Turkish league or in the Turkey football. So this game was always going to, produce red card. This is always going to produce red card. But Galatasaray won by 2-1 against Fenerbahce. Jose Mourinho and then his boys couldn't, win the League Cup game against Galatasaray. So Victor Osimhen has done really, really, really well. But something happened after the game. Look at Jose Mourinho. Just look at Jose Mourinho for what he did to the Galatasaray coach. Jose, this is not good. You are a top man. You are, you know this things. This is not supposed to be, something you have to emulate or you have to do. When you do this, your boys will emulate it. So don't do that, Jose. This is not good for Turkish football. And when they ban you, you will come out and, say all sort of things. I am a Jose Mourinho boy, but that is not good. This is unacceptable, Jose. This is unacceptable. So what's what happened in the Turkish league. Ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea will play today. Let's see what happens in the big game, the London Derby, Chelsea versus Tottenham Hotspur. This has been your midweek games, review. Click on the subscribe button, press the post notification bell, follow us on our social media platform. We have so many content coming up. This is Football Insights. My name is Kobo, and peace.